Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. So today just I am going to put down the second stanza or the second summary or the second lecture of the reader close to first year, that is the that is means the standing up for yourself. So I am going to showcase it for the my second lecture. So this is called the Mayajal of literature. Literature is full of swings, upbringings, upgrades, on the night smuggling with the foggy atmosphere. So that is called the literature because it is so much hidden treasures in that. So really, yes, okay. Now I'm going to the topic, the second of my second lecture. So the ruler of the street in which the writer was living was a boy of 16 nicknamed Red. So the ruler of the street. Then who was the ruler of the street? Means his name was nicknamed was Red. তার ডাকনাম নাম ଥିଲା তাকে Red. Red was very worst boy. I think Red was very worst boy because bad temperament, ugly temperament always. And the ruler of the street in which the writer was living, गोटे जगह रोते जो गली रे राइटर रोते से गली रे से जगार निक नेम बोले जन गोटे पिलार तार एज हूँ 16 वर्ष सी भी से गली रोला रेड. एंड द रेड वाज आई थिंक मोस्ट द नोटिएस्ट बॉय. आई थिंक द क्रिमिनल माइंडेड बॉय वाज जहाँकि बहुत क्रिमिनल माइंडेड था. ही लुक्ड ओल्डर दैन हिज एज बिकज इफ विल कंपेयर his age with the body structure, then the body structure looks to be just more defiable or the more than his age. ଯଦି ଆମେ କମ୍ପେୟାର କରିବା ତାର ଏଜ୍ 16 ଥିଲା, ମାତ୍ର 16 ଇୟର୍ସ, କିନ୍ତୁ ବଡି ଷ୍ଟ୍ରକ୍ଚର ଦେଖିଲେ ଜଣାପଡ଼ିବ ଦ୍ୟାଟ୍ ହି ୱାଜ୍ ମୋର୍ ଓଲ୍ଡର, ମାନେ ତାକୁ ଆହୁରି ଅଧିକା ବୟସ ଯେମିତି ଜଣାପଡ଼ୁଥିଲା. କିନ୍ତୁ ଇଫ୍ ହି କମ୍ପେୟାର ଦି ଏଜ୍ ୱିଥ୍ ହିଜ୍ ବଡି ଷ୍ଟ୍ରକ୍ଚର, ଦି ବଡି କମ୍ପ୍ଲେକ୍ସିଟିଜ୍, ଦେନ୍ he was looking more than the age of 16. ତେଣୁ ବୟସ 16 ବର୍ଷ ଠାରୁ ଆହୁରି ଅଧିକ ବୁଢ଼ା, ଅଧିକ ବୟସ୍କ ଦେଖାଯାଉଥିଲା ତା ବଡି ଷ୍ଟ୍ରକ୍ଚର ଯଦି ଆମେ ଦେଖିବା. he walked masterfully up and down the street. Masterfully means that is very royalistic, very carelessly, without that is called caring for anyone, adamantly, ମାନେ କାହାକୁ ଖାତିର ନାହିଁ, ବେଖାତିର ସେ ଯେମିତି ଥିଲା. he was the ruler of the street. ସେ ଥିଲା ରାସ୍ତାର ଗୋଟେ ଶାସକ, ଗୋଟେ ସମ୍ରାଟ, ଗୋଟେ ବାଦଶାହ. ସେ ଯେମିତି ରାଜକୀୟ ଠାଣିରେ ରାଜକୀୟ ଭଙ୍ଗୀରେ ଚାଲୁଥିଲା ରାସ୍ତାରେ, ବେଖାତିର କରି ସମସ୍ତଙ୍କୁ, କାହାକୁ କାହାରି ପ୍ରତି ତାର ଖାତିର ବି ଟିକେ ନଥିଲା. he used a pigged cap on head. Pigged cap means it is pointed, the front part of the cap, ଯୋଉଟା ପଏଣ୍ଟ କରାଯାଇଛି front part of the cap ର ଗୋଟେ କ୍ୟାପ୍ ପିନ୍ଧିଥିଲା. and his cattish eyes, cattish means ବିରାଡ଼ି ଭଳି ଆଖି, କ୍ୟାଟିସ୍, that is very scornful, very harmful, very hatred, very disliking. ତା ଆଖି ବିରାଡ଼ି ଆଖି ମାନେ କ'ଣ, ଯେଉଁଟାକି hatred feeling, dislike feeling, scornful feeling, getting annoyance, so ଅନ୍ୟ ପ୍ରତି ଘୃଣା ଭାବ, deep anger, ଏଇସବୁ ତାର ଆଖିରୁ ଆସୁଥିଲା, ବିରାଡ଼ିର ଆଖି. and pock marked face. Pock means the marks are just left by, that is called some pock marked, means ତାର ମୁହଁଟା ପୁରା ବସନ୍ତ ଦାଗ ଭରା ଛିଣିଥିଲା. ତାର ବସନ୍ତ ରୋଗ ହୋଇଥିଲା, ବସନ୍ତ ରୋଗ ପରେ ତାର ମୁହଁ ଗୁଡ଼ିକ ବସନ୍ତ ପୁରା ଦାଗ, ପୁରା ମୁହଁ ଭରା ଚାରିଆଡ଼େ ହୋଇଯାଇଥିଲା. ପକ୍ ମାର୍କ ଫେସ୍. ଲୁକ୍ଡ ଫିୟରଫୁଲ୍. ଏଇ those are the three elements quite dramatically and drastically looked to be very dangerous and quite ugliest also, and for others it was so fearful scene, very frightful scene for others. ଯିଏ ବି ଦେଖିବ ତାର ଏଇ ତିନିଟା ଏଲିମେଣ୍ଟସ୍ ବା ଆସ୍ପେକ୍ଟସକୁ, ଗୋଟେ ହେଲା ତାର ମୁଣ୍ଡରେ ଗୋଟେ ଟୋପି, ବିରାଡ଼ି ଭଳି ଆଖି, ଆଉ ମୁହଁରେ ବସନ୍ତ ଭରା ଚିହ୍ନ ଥିବା ମୁହଁ, ବସନ୍ତ ଦାଗ ଥିବା ମୁହଁରେ ଭର୍ତ୍ତି ହେଇଯାଇଛି ବସନ୍ତ ଦାଗର ଚିହ୍ନ. ତେଣୁ ଏଇ ଯେଉଁ ବସନ୍ତ ଦାଗ ଭରା ମୁହଁ ଇଏ ଯିଏ ଦେଖିବ ଆଇ ଥିଙ୍କ ରିଅଲି ୟୁ ୱିଲ୍ ବି ଜଷ୍ଟ ଗେଟ୍ ପ୍ୟାନିକ୍ ଅଫ୍ ଦି ରେଡ୍ ଦି ମୋଷ୍ଟ ୱର୍ଷ୍ଟ ଭେରି ୱିକେଡ୍ ବୟ ଯାହା ବି ହଉ. So he had 2 or 3 lieutenants who were also waiting for the slightest instruction. ତାର 2-3 ଜଣ lieutenants ଥିଲେ. Lieutenant means the followers, the assistants, the cooperators. ତାର ସହଯୋଗୀ ସାଥୀ ଚେଲା ତାର 3 ଜଣ ତାକୁ ବି ସେମାନେ ତା ଦଳରେ ଥିଲେ, ତା ଗ୍ରୁପରେ, ତା ଗ୍ୟାଙ୍ଗରେ. ବିକଜ ଦେ ସପୋର୍ଟେଡ୍ ଦି ରେଡ୍କୁ ସପୋର୍ଟ କରୁଥିଲେ at any time under the slightest instruction, that is under the slightest advice, under the very meanest instruction from the red, then they could also capture any person, any boy, and very forcefully also they snatched away the monies from the bags. जोटा कि स्लाइटेस्ट गोटे इन्स्ट्रक्शन पाइला माने धर माने सी ताको संगे संगे बांधी आनिबे जोटा कि कहै छै. सो देन ही स्टॉप्ड एनी बॉय and also asked him for money. जेकोसी भी जे भी जाओ ताको अटकै देके then they will beg for money forcefully just they will demand for money is the only way, demanding पैसा ही ताकर दरकार जबरदस्त छड़े आनुथिले. And his followers would beat him mercilessly. Mercilessly means without any kind act, that is called kindlessly, very brutal act. ନିର୍ଦ୍ଦୟ ଭାବରେ ତାକୁ ନିଷ୍ଠୁକୁ ମାଡ଼ ମାରୁଥିଲେ. ଯିଏ ପଇସା ଦେଉନଥିଲେ, ଯିଏ ଦେଇ ଦେଉଥିଲା ସେମାନେ ଖୁସି, ଯିଏ ନ ଦେଉଥିଲା ତାକୁ ନିଷ୍ଠୁକୁ ମାଡ଼ ମାରୁଥିଲେ ସେମାନେ. So I think it was very cruel act and very revengeful act. I think very hatred act being done by the red, the age of 16 years, so very wicked, noticed boy. So red was the incarnation of devil and everyone in the street was afraid of him and his gang. समस्त भय करते because कहीं ना से उठे थिला, because red was just a devil and he was very rascal, very idiot, very naughtiest, and through these acts everyone was just fearful of red and his gangs. समस्त भय करते. The writer was also afraid of him because he used to carry a knuckle duster in his pocket. Because every time red could carry just the knuckle duster inside his pocket. ସବୁବେଳେ ଗୋଟେ ସେ ଭୁଜାଲି ଧରିକିରି ଗୋଟେ ଓଜନଦାର ଭୁଜାଲି ପକେଟରେ ପୁରି ସବୁବେଳେ ବୁଲୁଥିଲେ, which just make fearful of others, which make afraid of others, which made others feel very frightful. ଯାହାକି ସମସ୍ତଙ୍କୁ ଭୟଭୀତ କରୁଥିଲା, ସବୁବେଳେ ସେ ପକେଟରେ ଭୁଜାଲି ଧରି ବୁଲୁଥିଲା. Whoever went against him just had to bear the static attack. So anyone also going against the red, anyone was also doing any mistake going against the red, so red would also, I think, manhandle him very brutally and also very inhumanly tortured him and also getting the treatment to him. जे मानु नथिला ताको एई भली ट्रीटमेंट मिलुतला. So very inhuman, uncivilized, that is called the bloodshed activities done by the red. And because he was bloodthirsty always. He was bloodthirsty and he was also very callous, very bloodthirsty, very callous. And murdering was a great sports and enjoying aspect for him. जे मर्डर करिया ता पे थिला गोटे स्पोर्ट्स भलिया एन्जॉय करिया गोटे थिला, एन्जॉय करे से. The writer wanted to conquer his fear of the red by hook and crook. So the writer wanted to overcome, to surpass the fearfulness towards the red by any ways, by any means, ଯେକୌଣସି ଉପାୟରେ by hook or crook ତାଙ୍କର ଯେଉଁ ଭୟଟା ଥିଲା ରେଡ୍ ପ୍ରତି ତାକୁ ସେ ଚାହୁଁଥିଲେ just to drive it away from his heart, just to getting aloof from the fearfulness towards the red. ତେଣୁ ତାକୁ ଦୂରେଇବାକୁ ଚାହୁଁଥିଲେ ସେ, cast away. So he wrote a poem about him. So whole street read and also praised the writer for daring spirit and hatred. So because that's why in order to drive out, spell out, aloof from the fearfulness, so the writer just wrote a beautiful poem or a verse just about the red, which everyone of the street, means every person of the street, praised him brilliantly and enormously just to the writer. Writer समस्त प्रशंसा कले because every person in the lane, they had also highly disliking, hatredness toward the red. So that's why whenever the writer wrote a very lovely, magnificent poem about the red, so everybody praised him, giving just you are the daring person, first time you are going against the red and writing a poem about the red. So a few days passed, and one morning when the writer was on his way to school and came upon Red and his lieutenant. Suppose one morning writer was going to school. So on the way just he met the Red and his gangsters. So then what happened? Red looked sternly and devastatingly at the writer, and the Red also looked very ferociously, very fiercely, just as a lion and tiger looks for his prey. ଯେମିତି ଗୋଟେ ଶିକାରକୁ ବାଘ ଆଉ ଟାଇଗର ଯେଉଁ ଲାୟନ ମାନେ ଅନାନ୍ତି ସେମିତି ଭେରି ଆଟାକିଂଲି ଜଷ୍ଟ ସିଭିୟରଲି ଲୁକିଂ ଆଟ୍ ଦି ରାଇଟର ଏମିତି ରିଭେଞ୍ଜଫୁଲ୍ ଲୁକିଂ ଅନେଇଲା ତାଙ୍କୁ ରାଇଟରଙ୍କୁ ହି ସେଡ୍ ସାକ୍ରେଷ୍ଟିକାଲି ସୋ ୟୁ ହାଭ୍ ଦି ରିଟନ୍ ଆବାଉଟ୍ ମି ଡୁ ଦି ରାଇମ୍ ସୋ ସାକ୍ରେଷ୍ଟିକାଲି ମିନ୍ସ କନଭେ ସମ୍ କଣ୍ଟେମ୍ପ୍ଟସ୍ ଟୁ ସେ ସମଥିଙ୍ଗ ଆଇରୋନିକାଲି because the words of contempt and hatredness towards the writer ଏଭଳି ଘୃଣା ଚକ୍ଷୁରେ ରାଇଟରଙ୍କୁ ନେଲା ତା ଆଖିରେ ଥିଲା ଘୃଣା ରାଗ ଏବଂ ପ୍ରତିଶୋଧର ନିଆଁ ଜଳୁଥିଲା ତା ଆଖିରେ ଏବଂ ସେତେବେଳେ ରାଇଟରଙ୍କୁ ଅନେଇଲା ଏବଂ ରାଇଟର ଭଲ ଭାବେ ଜାଣିଥିଲେ ଯେ ସେ କିଛି କରିବାକୁ ଯାଉଛି ରାଇଟରଙ୍କ ପ୍ରତି ଆଣ୍ଡ ୟୁ ହାଭ୍ ରିଟେନ୍ ଆବାଉଟ୍ ମି କହିଲେ ତୁ ହିଁ ସେଇ କବି ଯିଏକି ମୋ ବିଷୟରେ ଲେଖିଛୁ ଡୁ ଦେ ରାଇମ୍ କହିଲେ ସେଗୁଡ଼ିକ ସବୁ ଯତିପାତ ପଡ଼ୁଛି ତ ଠିକ୍ ସବୁ ସାମଞ୍ଜସ୍ୟ ରହିଛି ତ ପରସ୍ପର ସହିତ ତୋ କବିତାର ଏତେ ବଡ଼ ସାହସ କଲୁ ତୁମ ବିରୁଦ୍ଧରେ ସେଗୁଡ଼ିକ ଯତିପାତ ପଡ଼ୁଛି ତ ସୋ ଦି ନେକ୍ସଟ ମୋମେଣ୍ଟ ସୋ ବିଫୋର୍ ଦି ରାଇଟର କୁଡ୍ ଅଟର ଏନିଥିଙ୍ଗ ସୋ ରେଡ୍ ପୁଲ୍ଡ ଆଉଟ୍ ଦି ନକଲ ଡଷ୍ଟର ଆଣ୍ଡ ଅଲସୋ ଷ୍ଟ୍ରାକ୍ ଦି ହେଡ୍ ଅଫ୍ ଦି ରାଇଟର ସୋ within no time, within no framework of the time, so the red just pulled out his knuckle duster from inside his pocket and he also struck just on his head. Sange sange, within the sparkle of the moment, within the span of the moment, within no time, he just drove out his knuckle duster and struck on the head of the writer. Gote shakto bodo aghat kala ta bhujali bahar kari kahar writer mundo ko. He fell down streaming with blood and fell down because the blood's rolling down quite excessively, blood's rolling down quite mammothly on the spot. पूरा रक्त जुड़बुड़ी से गले and became senseless, became unconscious on the spot, writer, and he spent several days in bed to recover. So that's why just he was also in medical treatment. So I think several days just for him to get recover from that hot being meted out by the wicked or the worst red boy. So today up to that, the next my next lecture I will start from. Till then, goodbye and also the happiest moments for all.